Hello everyone, welcome back to Talk Fluent. We're so happy you're spending part of your day with us. Whether you're getting ready for your IELTS exam or just trying to sound more confident in English, you're in the right place. Today's lesson is one that can make a huge difference in your speaking score because we're talking about one of the most common IELTS topics, your job or your studies.
Hey everyone, it's great to have you here again. You know, I've listened to a lot of IELTS practice recordings and one thing happens again and again. Students know English, but their answers sound too short, too basic, or too memorized. The examiner asks a simple question and they reply with something like, I'm a student, I study English, I like it. That's not enough for a band 7 or higher.
Exactly, I remember when I first started helping English learners. Many of them were nervous because they thought they needed fancy vocabulary, but the real secret isn't using difficult words. It's giving natural, detailed, and connected answers that sound like a real conversation.
That's what we're going to show you today. We'll teach you how to talk about your work or education with confidence, how to expand your answers naturally, and how to avoid sounding robotic or repetitive during the IELTS speaking test.
By the end of this episode, you'll know simple structures you can use in almost any IELTS interview. You'll also learn useful expressions, common mistakes, and practical examples that you can adapt to your own life instead of memorizing someone else's answers.
Before we jump in, here's a question for you. Are you currently working, studying, or doing both? Tell us in the comments and write one sentence about your daily routine. We'd love to read your answers and help you improve them.
And if you're enjoying learning English with friendly conversations like this, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Talk Fluent, and share it with a friend who's preparing for IELTS too. Every new lesson brings you one step closer to speaking with confidence.
All right, let's get started and learn how to stop sounding basic in IELTS speaking.
Let's start with the foundation. In the IELTS speaking test, the examiner isn't only checking your grammar or vocabulary, they're also listening to how naturally you develop your ideas. So instead of giving a one-line answer, you should follow a simple formula. Subject plus verb plus object plus reason plus extra detail plus example. This structure helps your answer sound complete and confident.
That's a great formula. Let's see it in action. Imagine the examiner asks, what do you do? A basic answer would be, I'm a teacher. But a stronger answer would be, I'm a primary school teacher, and I really enjoy helping young students become more confident because every day brings a new challenge. See how much more interesting that sounds.
Here's another one. If you're a student, don't stop at saying, I study engineering. You could say, I'm studying engineering at university, and I chose this field because I've always loved solving problems and learning how things work.
Let me give you a few more examples. I work in customer service, so I spend most of my day helping clients. I'm studying business administration because I'd like to start my own company one day. I work as a graphic designer, and I enjoy creating visual content for different brands. Every answer has a little extra information.
I used to answer questions very briefly when I was learning another language. If someone asked what I did, I'd simply say, I'm a student. The conversation would end there. But once I started adding reasons and experiences, people wanted to keep talking. That's exactly what IELTS examiners want to hear too.
Can I ask you something? If someone asked you why you chose your job, what would you say?
I'd probably say I enjoy helping people learn because seeing someone improve makes my work meaningful. What about you?
I'd say I love communicating with different people every day. No two conversations are ever the same, and that's exciting.
Now it's your turn. Think about your own work or studies. Why did you choose them? What's your favorite part? What's the biggest challenge? Answering these follow-up questions will automatically make your response longer and more natural.
We'd love to hear from you. Write one complete IELTS-style answer in the comments using this pattern, what you do, why you chose it, and what you enjoy most. Keep it to 3 or 4 sentences and practice writing naturally.
Let's also talk about negative forms because examiners often ask about dislikes or difficulties. You can say, I don't enjoy working under pressure, or I don't like long lectures because I lose focus after a while. If you're unemployed, you can honestly say, I'm not working at the moment because I'm focusing on my studies, or I'm currently looking for a new opportunity.
Notice how those answers are still positive and informative. Instead of stopping after I'm not working, you explain your situation. That's what creates a band 7 impression.
Another useful variation is talking about the future. You can say, I'm studying computer science now, but I'd like to become a software developer after graduation. That shows flexibility with different verb forms and adds depth to your answer.
Here's a quick challenge for everyone listening. Can you answer these questions out loud? What do you do? Why did you choose it? What's one thing you'd like to improve? Try speaking for at least 30 seconds without stopping.
And don't worry if you make mistakes. Fluency grows through practice, not perfection. The more you explain your ideas, the more natural your English will become.
Before we move on, here's a quick summary. Start with a clear answer, add a reason, include a personal detail or example, and finish with an extra thought about the future or your feelings. That's a simple formula that can instantly make your IELTS speaking answers sound richer and more impressive.
Now that you've learned how to give a complete answer, let's take it one step further. A Band 7 or higher speaker doesn't just answer the question. They connect ideas smoothly and sound like they're having a real conversation. That's where linking expressions and descriptive language becomes so useful.
Exactly, instead of giving separate sentences, connect them naturally. For example, don't say, I'm a nurse, I work at a hospital, I like my job. A better answer is, I'm a nurse working at a local hospital, and although the job can be stressful, I really enjoy helping people recover.
Notice how the ideas flow together. You can use connectors like because, although, since, so, however, and that's why. These simple words make your speaking sound much more organized.
Let's introduce another useful technique, talking about your daily routine. If the examiner asks about your studies, you could say, I'm studying accounting, and most weekdays I attend lectures in the morning before spending a few hours working on assignments in the library.
That's a great example because it paints a picture. Instead of only saying what you study, you're showing what your typical day looks like. That gives the examiner much more language to evaluate.
Let's try a dialogue. I'll ask you an IELTS-style question. What do you enjoy most about your job?
I'd say the best part of my job is meeting different people every day because every conversation teaches me something new. It keeps my work interesting and motivates me to keep learning.
Excellent. Now here's another one. Do you think you'll stay in the same career?
Probably not. While I enjoy what I do now, I'd eventually like to move into management because I enjoy leading projects and helping teams succeed.
See how naturally that answer moves from the present to the future. That's a skill examiners love because it demonstrates flexibility with English.
Let's also compare formal and informal language. In everyday conversation, someone might say, I love my job, it's awesome. That's completely natural with friends. But in the IELTS test, it's usually better to say, I really enjoy my work because it's rewarding and gives me opportunities to develop new skills.
Another informal example is, college is pretty tough. A slightly more polished IELTS answer would be, my university studies can be quite demanding, but they've helped me become more disciplined and independent.
Remember, sounding natural doesn't mean using slang all the time. It means choosing clear, fluent expressions that fit the situation.
Let's do a quick practice activity. I'll give you a short answer and you try to improve it. Ready? I'm an office worker.
I'd expand it like this. I'm an office worker at a marketing company where I mainly communicate with clients and organize projects. I enjoy the teamwork because every project is different.
Great, here's another one. I'm a university student.
I could say, I'm currently studying psychology at university, and I'm fascinated by human behavior because I enjoy understanding how people think and make decisions.
That's exactly the kind of answer that sounds confident and engaging.
Here are 3 practical tips you can use immediately. First, always add a reason after your main answer. Second, include one personal experience or daily habit to make your response unique. Third, finish with your opinion or future goal to leave a strong impression.
Those 3 steps can easily turn a 10-second answer into a 40-second answer without sounding memorized.
Here's another challenge for you. Write one comment describing your job or studies in 4 sentences. Include what you do, why you chose it, what you enjoy about it, and what you hope to do in the future. Practicing this way will make speaking much easier.
You can also practice with a friend or even record yourself on your phone. Listen again and ask yourself, did I explain my ideas clearly? Did I give enough detail? Did my answer sound natural?
The more you practice expanding your ideas instead of memorizing scripts, the more confident you'll become in the real IELTS interview.
So let's review the key points from this section. Connect your ideas with simple linking words, describe your daily experiences, understand the difference between informal and more polished English, and always support your answers with reasons and personal details. Those habits will help your speaking sound fluent, natural, and much closer to a Band 7 or higher performance.
Now let's move on to another important skill that can really boost your IELTS speaking score. So far, we've talked about explaining your job or studies, but what happens when the examiner asks you to compare the past, present, and future? This is where many learners start sounding hesitant. The good news is that there's a simple way to organize your thoughts.
That's right, a useful structure is past experience plus present situation plus future goal. This keeps your answer organized and shows that you can use different tenses naturally. Examiners love hearing a variety of grammar used correctly.
Let's look at an example. Suppose the examiner asks, how has your work changed over the years? Instead of saying, it's different now, you could answer, when I first started, I mainly completed simple tasks, but now I manage larger projects and work with bigger teams. In the future, I'd like to take on even more responsibility.
Here's another example for students. When I began university, I struggled with time management. Now I'm much more organized, and after graduation, I hope to continue my education by earning a master's degree.
Notice how those answers tell a story. They're not just giving information. They're showing growth and ambition. That makes your response memorable and interesting.
Everyday situations are perfect for practicing this. Imagine a friend asks, what do you do after work? Instead of saying, I go home, you might say, after work, I usually go home, have dinner with my family, and spend an hour reading or improving my English because I enjoy learning new skills.
Or if someone asks about your studies, you could say, after my classes finish, I often meet classmates to discuss assignments before heading home to review my notes. Small details make your English sound authentic.
Let's demonstrate another IELTS-style conversation. I'll ask the question, would you recommend your job to other people?
I'd answer, yes, I would. Although the work can be challenging at times, it's rewarding because I learn something new every day and have the chance to help others.
Great answer, now try this one. Would you recommend your course to future students?
I'd say definitely. The course requires hard work, but it develops practical skills that are valuable in many careers. I think motivated students would really enjoy it.
Those answers sound polite, balanced, and thoughtful. Instead of saying only positive things, they admit challenges while ending on a positive note.
That's an excellent point. In English conversations, people often sound more natural when they acknowledge both sides. You can use phrases like, although it can be difficult, even though it's demanding, or there are some challenges, but overall I enjoy it.
Your tone also matters. Don't rush through your answer. Speak clearly, stress important words, and leave tiny natural breaks between ideas. That makes you sound confident rather than memorized.
Another useful tip is to avoid repeating the same words. Instead of saying good 5 times, try interesting, rewarding, challenging, valuable, or fulfilling. These words aren't difficult, but they make your vocabulary more varied.
Here's a real-life practice situation. Imagine you're meeting someone for the first time at a community event. They ask, so what do you do? Give yourself a full answer with your job or studies. Explain why you chose that path, mention one challenge, and finish by talking about your future plans.
Let's do a mini practice together. I'll start with a simple answer. I'm studying economics.
I'd respond by expanding it. I'm studying economics at university because I've always been interested in how businesses and markets work. Although some subjects are difficult, I enjoy solving real-world problems, and I hope to work in finance after I graduate.
Excellent, now here's another one. I work in retail.
A stronger version could be, I work in retail at a clothing store where I help customers find products that suit their needs. The job has improved my communication skills, and I hope to move into store management in the future.
Your turn now. Pause after this lesson and answer those same questions out loud. Record yourself if possible and listen carefully. Are your ideas connected? Did you explain your reasons? Did you include details about the future? The more you practice speaking naturally, the easier the IELTS interview will feel.
And remember, don't chase perfection. Focus on communicating your ideas clearly, using different tenses naturally, adding personal details, and speaking with confidence. That's the structure that helps transform simple answers into impressive band 7-level responses.
Okay, let's be honest for a second. Even we made a lot of mistakes when we were learning how to talk about jobs and studies in another language. One of the biggest problems is sounding too short or too direct in answers. And don't worry, almost every IELTS learner does this at the beginning.
Absolutely, let's look at some common mistakes and fix them together. First one, very short answers. Incorrect, I'm a student. Correct, I'm a student studying business at university, and I'm really interested in how companies grow and compete.
The reason the first one is weak is simple. It gives no detail. The examiner has nothing to work with, so the conversation feels flat. But when you add a reason or interest, suddenly your answer becomes natural and expandable.
Second mistake, repeating the same word again and again. Incorrect, I work in a company, I work every day, I work with people. Correct, I work in a company where I collaborate with different teams and handle daily tasks that involve communication and planning.
That first version sounds robotic because it doesn't show variety. The second one uses different verbs and naturally avoids repetition. That's exactly what Band 7 answers do.
Third mistake, not explaining reasons. Incorrect. I like my job. Correct. I like my job because it allows me to interact with people and improve my communication skills every day.
This is very important. IELTS examiners don't just want your opinion, they want to see why you think that way. The word because is your best friend in speaking tests.
Let's do one more mistake that many learners don't notice, sounding too memorized. Incorrect. I am currently pursuing my academic studies in the field of engineering at a prestigious university. Correct. I'm studying engineering at university, and I'm really enjoying learning how things are built and designed.
The first one sounds like a textbook. The second one sounds like a real person speaking naturally. You don't need complicated words, you need clear, natural English.
Now let's break this down with a funny example. Imagine someone says, I am doing my education in a highly reputed educational institute. That sounds like a robot trying to impress someone.
Exactly, instead just say, I study at a good university. Simple, natural, and much more confident.
Let's give you practice prompts for each mistake type. First, short answers. Try expanding this, I'm a teacher.
Second, repetition. Fix this sentence. I study and I study every day and I study hard.
Third, missing reasons. Improve this, I like my course.
And fourth, overly formal or memorized English. Simplify this. I am engaged in professional academic training in economics.
Take a moment and try saying your answers out loud. You'll immediately feel the difference between basic and band 7 level speaking.
One important thing we want to say here, making mistakes is completely normal. In fact, mistakes are part of learning. Nobody speaks perfectly in IELTS, not even native speakers in everyday conversation.
Exactly, the goal is not perfection. The goal is clarity. If the examiner understands you easily and you keep developing your ideas, you're already doing very well.
And don't be afraid to sound simple. Simple English that is clear and natural is always better than complex English that sounds unnatural or confusing.
So let's quickly wrap up this section. Avoid short answers, don't repeat the same words, always give reasons, and keep your language natural instead of memorized or overly formal. Fixing just these 4 things can instantly improve your IELTS speaking performance.
Alright, now it's time to make things more interactive. This is where you stop just understanding English and start actually using it. I'm going to give you a simple activity. Choose the better sentence in each situation. But don't just read it in your head, try saying it out loud.
Yes, this is important. Speaking out loud helps your brain get used to forming real sentences quickly. Okay, first situation, talking about your job. Option A, I am a worker. Option B, I work in a customer service role, and I help people solve their problems every day.
Obviously, option B is stronger. It adds detail, clarity, and purpose. Option A is too basic and doesn't give any useful information.
Second situation, talking about studies. Option A, I study. Option B, I'm studying computer science at university and I'm learning how to build software and solve real-world problems.
Again, option B wins. It tells the examiner what you study, why it matters, and what skills you're developing. That's band 7 thinking.
Third situation, expressing opinion. Option A, I like it. Option B, I really enjoy it because it challenges me and helps me improve my skills every day.
Option B sounds natural and complete. It also shows emotion and reasoning, which is exactly what IELTS examiners look for.
Fourth situation, describing routine. Option A, I go to university. Option B, I go to university in the morning, attend lectures, and spend the afternoon reviewing my notes or working on assignments.
You can hear the difference clearly. One is a statement, the other is a full spoken answer. That's what you should aim for.
Let's go a bit deeper now. Try changing the tone. For example, instead of saying, I work in an office, you can say it more naturally. I work in an office where I handle daily tasks like emails, meetings, and organizing schedules.
Or instead of I'm a student, you can say, I'm a university student, so most of my time is spent attending lectures, doing assignments, and preparing for exams. That sounds smooth and real.
Now here's your challenge. Take one of your real answers about your job or studies and expand it into at least 3 sentences. Include what you do, why you do it, and one extra detail like your routine or future goal.
And don't worry about perfection. The goal here is fluency. Even if you make small mistakes, keep going. Don't stop your sentence halfway just because you're unsure.
Another great exercise is recording yourself. Speak for 30-40 seconds about your job or studies, then listen again. Ask yourself, did I add enough detail? Did I repeat words? Did my answer sound natural or forced?
You can even try this with different emotions. Say the same answer in a confident tone, then in a relaxed tone. This helps you become more flexible in real conversations.
And remember, IELTS speaking is not a memory test. It's a communication test. The examiner wants to hear your ideas, not a perfect script.
So keep practicing this method. Choose the better sentence, expand your answers, and speak out loud every day for at least a few minutes.
If you do this regularly, you'll start noticing something important. You won't need to translate in your head anymore. Your answers will start coming out naturally and smoothly.
Wow, we've covered a lot today, and if you've been practicing along with us, you've already taken a big step towards sounding more natural in IELTS speaking. The main idea is simple. Don't give short answers, don't memorize scripts, and don't be afraid to expand your ideas.
Exactly. Today we focused on 3 key things. First, how to describe your job or studies using a clear structure with details and reasons. Second, how to connect your ideas using simple linking words and natural explanations. And third, how to avoid common mistakes like short answers, repetition, and overly formal language.
And the most important thing to remember is this: fluency is built, not born. Every time you speak, even for a few minutes, you're improving your ability to think in English. So don't wait for perfect conditions, just start talking.
Let me ask you something before we finish. After this episode, can you describe your job or studies in at least 4 sentences without stopping? Try it right now or practice it later today. That small challenge can make a huge difference in your confidence.
If you've made it this far, we just want to say well done. Seriously, consistency is what creates progress, and you're clearly putting in the effort to improve your English. Keep going even when it feels slow.
And don't forget, mistakes are part of the process. Every fluent speaker you hear today once struggled with basic sentences too. The difference is they kept practicing and didn't give up.
If you found this episode helpful, make sure to like this video, share it with a friend who's preparing for IELTS, and subscribe to Talk Fluent so you don't miss future lessons. We're building your English step by step together.
And we'd really love to hear from you. Comment below and tell us, what do you do and what's one thing you want to improve in your speaking? We read your comments and try to help you as much as possible.
You can also go back and practice the examples we gave today. Say them out loud, change them to match your own life, and build your own answers. That's how real improvement happens.
So keep it simple, keep it natural, and keep speaking every day. You don't need perfect English to sound confident. You just need clear ideas and regular practice.
Thanks for spending your time with us on Talk Fluent. We really enjoyed this session with you, and we hope you did too.
Keep learning, keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.